I know you've been waiting round, speaking high and looking down.
Morning guys, how are you? Oh, I can't see anything. That's busy. Tried another one of our little being together groups last night. A little walk, a little meal, a little sit quietly for a bit, and then talking about what we want to do. So simple, but it just helps you connect really in a human way, so that was good. Today I'm off to Lyon, to France, to this castle. It sounds amazing to meet Jessica, but there's a couple of things I wanted to show you before I go. Firstly, I've been trying to think about what to provide people when they come and stay either in the hut or the cottage. And if it's duvets like this, then there's so much washing to do. Everybody can have a clean sheet and a clean pillowcase every time they stay, because then it's easy just to rip those off and put them in the washing machine, but that they use a sleeping bag. Whether someone's staying up here or they're staying in the huts when they arrive, which is hopefully this weekend, it just feels like it's more congruent. Everything's kind of similar, and also the washing doesn't get out of control. But I also don't want it to be crap when people arrive. The mad thing has been that there's been snow. In fact, I've got a few clips here from Joris, who came to visit this weekend.
You never have to be alone. You're not alone now.
Vegetables. Oh, got something new from the farm. Wild garlic pesto, leek, sea salt, lemon, olive oil. Boom. I actually brought these years ago in Brighton when I was out walking with Alfie, Louise and Zoe one day, and I've never used them. They've been in the packet ever since, and now feels like the perfect thing. Dave from Strathmashy. Your magic potions. Brenda's winter gin. Cheers from Chris and Minnie. Legends. Dear Dave, we saw the videos about your Corcovado project on YouTube. To contribute, we send you our Sonnenglas, a solar powered fair trade lantern. You can decorate Brenda's cottage or the shepherd's hut, or with some light read at night just wandering through the forest. Thank you guys. Little panel chocolat. I think. You finished dinner at Brenda's table and now you're wandering through the fields back to your hut. We could even put some treats in the bottom there. So this is basically the clever bit. Tiny solar panel, the LED light and stuff.
I hear the words you choose to speak.
From Tom and Sarah. Tom was the one who wrote the final song, the Corcovado song on the project. The Tao of Pooh and the Tio of Piglet. I haven't got into this yet, but that should live in there. Oh, also guys, if you haven't come across this book, The Lost Words, this is a beautiful book. I'm trying to get people to fall back in love with nature again. Look at this, it's just absolutely gorgeous. A flake is to a blizzard, as curve is to a sphere, as knot is to net, as one is to many, as coin is to money, as bird is to flock, as rock is to mountain, as drop is to fountain, as spring is to river, as glint is to glitter, as near is to far, as wind is to weather, as feather is to flight, as light is to star, as kindness is to good, so acorn is to wood. The Lost Words. It's good stuff.
You never have to be alone. You're not alone.
There's a brilliant old book actually that I read years and years, 10 years ago, called The Starfish and the Spider. Basically it talks about the difference between hierarchies and networks, and it's a really simple analogy to get your head around. If you cut the legs off a spider, the spider dies. If you cut the leg off a starfish, it grows into its own starfish. I think it says something about networks, it says something about decentralized organizations, and a nice introduction to this sort of flatter way of thinking that I think we need to get into if we're going to survive the next 100 years.
Well, I know I know how it feels. Trying to be whole and you're still trying to heal. I know I know how it feels. So give me your I run when you run and I'll stay when you fall. You give me your all.
We're going to go have a look around, try and learn what the hell's going on here, and then figure out how we can work together if at all. Look at these shoes.
Hold on tight, it's a long ride. You wanna get to where you wanna go.
This is Jess, whose place it is. This is Vicky, who used to work with me back in the day on the Gibby days, and so we're just having a little snoop around. So this is going to be like a
yoga room, meditation room.
Grit your teeth, I could be all you need till you get there. I won't give up.
Sorry, 9,000 square metres of buildings
in total
on the 600-acre estate.
Yeah.
And 3,000 of it is the one place we're going to go see in a minute.
Is the chateau, and then the rest is almost entirely abandoned buildings like this.
Right. So what would this have been? This is absolutely huge.
This would have been for cattle, for horses.
Wow, this is a pretty serious venue in its own right, isn't it? What the hell? Has it got a chicken coop in there?
It's like a little dog's kennel.
Wanted to do this like co-working, co-living. There's being like cafe, restaurant, event space.
I won't give
Hello, horse. Flipping heck.
So that's the original tower of the chateau.
Okay, so that was the original tower before it got blown up. So in the old days, when in the feudal system, you'd have the big chateau and then you would just have a whole village, like a hamlet of people supporting that family. Oh, I love it. 14th century chapel. Away in a manger. I guess it all just depends on whether you had a good aristocrat or not. Yeah. If you had a good one, then you probably had a good life. What the heck is that? Is that a mobile burner?
That's for wine.
No, I was thinking it was a mobile log burner.
It could turn into
a
mobile log burner.
So are we in the town of Macon?
Macon is 15 and Clissé is 4, so I don't know where that sign would have been.
All I see when I see that sign is macaroni on cheese.
With your teeth, I could be all you need to leave it there. I won't give up.
Shish kebabs.
Just see the spaces.
Massive, they're all massive.
Yeah.
Right, we're going through the door, but it's actually in the floor.
It's actually in the floor.
I can see right through your pride.
Underneath the first barn we looked at. Look at that little car.
Stubborn kind of compromise. Yeah.
Apparently someone's coming to get this. This would be a perfect thing to start a hut on. The problem I have with my huts at the moment is because they're on metal wheels. They look a lot nicer. They get stuck, whereas this, that would go through anything basically. It'll be like 4x4. It's not a bad starting point. Yeah, this would be a great jazz bar, wouldn't it?
I just think for the music, because even when you talk, it's like it resonates.
Oh. Yeah, not too much. Not too much.
I wouldn't.
Totally ruined my shoes. This road was the pathway to Rome.
For pilgrims, trade, all the rest of it.
Now this is the kind of entranceway I'm talking about. We must be heading somewhere significant now. The one thing that's not abandoned or old school on the estate is they've got a golf course. I can't wait to see that.
Still don't have to pick a load. Never alone. I know I know how it feels. Trying to be whole when you're still trying to heal. I know I know how it feels.
Yeah, last year was your first year, wasn't it?
It was our first unofficial year. So
Okay.
we did it with volunteers. It wasn't open to the public per se.
I call it a V1, where everything is an
V1.
experiment. You're trying everything for the first time.
Yes.
And you had all your bell tents out there. Oh look, there's another one of those things that we could nab.
Yes.
That could be another hut base.
I think there's another one back there as well.
And in there?
Yeah, that yellow thing.
It's meant to be. They're everywhere. They're just everywhere. Oh, is that a well? Is that a well? They don't work. I'm about to unblock a well at the cottage, actually. I want to get a pump a bit like that.
I
Some
actually
old
know
vintage
where
one.
you can buy them. Antique place yesterday and they had them.
What, down here, around here? Oh, cool. Can I ring that bell?
You can.
Yes. I'm in the bell tower. What do I do? Careful where I stand. Oh, that's a bit ominous. Oh! Yes! Oh, yes, that is an awesome shape. Look at this.
Give me your, give me your, give me your. I'll run when you run and I'll stay when you fall. Yeah, give me your, give me your, give me your all. Hold on tight, it's a long, long ride if you wanna get to it.
I got one wild sheep here called Miriam.
Just big sheep.
And they don't know how to shear her. So if you guys live near Lyon and you do sheep shearing, then get in touch. Oh, this is epic.
So this is where we had lectures.
This is a very cool place to do book readings and lectures and talks, I guess, and film viewings and all that kind of thing.
We're going to patch up all of the windows with new glass
Nice.
and make sure that all the windows shut. And also we're going to repair that damage and the same damage on the other room.
Okay.
So we can actually use these two rooms.
So let's just do a little bit of a recap for a second. What the hell are you actually doing here? Like, how did you get hold of this? Why are we here? I mean, this is amazing, and I've been just showing everybody everything, but filled them in.
Originally, my family is from Versailles, near Paris.
Okay.
But my great-great-uncle came here, fell in love with a local woman from Burgundy, and then decided that they wanted to build a summer family home. Just for the summer.
Just for the summer, obviously.
No biggie. So they bought it in 1850, this got built in 1870. They had a son, and then that son didn't have any children.
Okay.
So he then said, I leave the property to whoever in my ancestry that is worthy of it. My grandfather was almost worthy, but then he got divorced from my grandmother. And then luckily, my grandfather actually managed to buy everyone out. So he inherited it, even though he was no longer worthy because he was a divorcee. So he lived here with my grandmother in the late 50s, 60s, and then my dad took it over in the 70s. A lot of things were stolen from here, and there was the family Bible was in that crest.
Oh wow!
And they smashed it and left an empty can of Stella. That is just a cheeky move.
Wow! The stained glass is absolutely gorgeous in here.
It's your seed, I could be all you need to get there. I won't give up. I won't give up.
15 years ago, still, your mum was still running retreats here and stuff.
There was electricity and everything was in pretty good condition.
Amazing what can happen in 15 years.
Oh, keep holding on for me, 'cause I could be all you need.
So I think the challenge with all these kinds of projects is getting the balance between commerciality and community right, and it's the balance between consumer and owner, and getting people to feel just enough bought in that they actually know the place and own the place, but actually not too much that you can't get them out, that you can't make decisions. And this morning over breakfast, there's two guys here from Christiania in Copenhagen, which for me is the most memorable part of Copenhagen. It's like a real anarchist kind of alternative community living right in the heart of the city. And it's interesting talking to them that all their decisions are made on consensus, which is a lovely idea where everybody has to agree within that little mini community that's making the choice. But in reality, it can be quite painstaking, 5-hour meetings just to make one decision. There's also a balance to be made between sort of autocracy and democracy. And I actually think that probably the best society would work like a family, where actually you have a fluid sense through relationship going all the way from complete consensus to complete autocracy. But that in practice is very, very difficult to do. However, we may have more chances these days with the technologies that are coming online. But in here, there's so much work to be done. You've got to get people to want to be here and want to take part of it. So I think something like a timeshare could be a good shout. It's a comedy little staircase. I literally don't fit. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're outdoors. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, I may have ruined the surprise, but this is awesome.
You've skipped a bit.
I'm sorry. No, should we go back?
No.
I just got excited. Oh my gosh.
Here you go.
Oh, I know, yeah, I know how it feels. Trying to be whole when you're still trying to heal. I know, yeah, I know how it feels.
Oh look, there's Miriam. Miriam is alive. And it's funny because it's the most humble staircase. It's like, oh, there's nothing. I thought it was a clothes cupboard, like a coat cupboard.
Hold on tight, it's a long ride if you want to get to where you want to go.
Nice to stick a couple of huts down here. I don't know if you guys know, but before I actually went to the estate that I'm on now, I actually put an offer in with my mate Andy to buy a lake that was probably twice the size of this one here. And we were gonna, had some islands on in the middle, and we were gonna try and put 6 floating huts on it. And I've always enjoyed natural running water. My heart still goes out when I see places like this. I'd love to have a little hut on here.
Secrets your teeth, I could be all you need to get
Nice
there.
practice swing.
I won't give up, I won't give Secrets your teeth, I could be all you need to get there. I won't give up, I won't give up.
It's begun. Sorry, guys. What is this?
Blackberry.
Black currant. Black currant.
Black currant?
Did you bring this over from Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Yeah, down in your van. You just drove down here with all these plants.
One of them we brought.
Come on, is this mint or something?
No, it's the same. It's
Oh,
just
is
a
it?
different sort.
Brilliant. So where are these going to go then?
Right now, we're just gonna chop up some sticks so we can put in the names, and then we're just gonna line them up here so that Jess can take care of them, water them, so they're close by.
This is the first bits of growing here. God, give it a couple of years and this will probably take over the whole area. Wow, look at this little guy. He looks like he escaped from Africa.
Yeah.
Mate, that is some serious cat grooming.
Keep holding on for me, 'cause I could be all you need.
I mean, I thought Brenda's cottage fireplace was the biggest open fireplace in a house, but this one takes the biscuit. This is an absolute beast. We're just having some sort of fireside chats. This place is called La Salle. They're kind of open to start doing retreats now, especially sort of creative retreats where people have a skill and they want to teach others. So if you are a teacher of something, if you teach art or you want to teach art, if you have a certain discipline that you're an expert in and you've been waiting for an amazing space to sort of do that in a retreat fashion with a small group of people, then it could be a good place to come. Because I think that's what this place is going to be full of. Lots of talented people being willing to share their talents with others in a fitting environment so that maximum learning and creativity happens over a short period of time. Morning, guys. Today is Thursday. I always process stuff in my sleep, and I feel like yesterday was just a big sucking it all in day. It was just like a guided tour. We didn't really get to the point of thinking, how does this fit with Corcovado? How do we fit in the network? What can we offer to Jess and the team here? I guess it's partly because they're just starting, so all the conversation is about like, we could do this, we could do that. They've got such a huge place here they've got to figure out what to do with. But today we will get onto that Corcovado type conversation. How do we glue it all together? I guess I'm seeing that there is something happening. There is a movement of digital nomads going back to occupy country spaces, whether it's for a day or two or whether they're living there. And I guess I care about making sure that movement makes its dent on the world whilst it has a chance. But I also recognise if the creative arts that history will remember, that help shape the narrative that goes along with the technological paradigm shift that we're facing, for that to happen, the businesses of each of the individual bases, the economics, the paying the bills and keeping it running well, they have to work too. So although I don't really care about business at the moment in a direct way for me, I'm not trying to build a company like I did for the last 10 years, I do care about it for them. And I guess that fits in with my coaching world. Today what I want to show you is a couple of guys who are also coaches who have got a new channel called Unleashing of Potential, called Joris and Sane, who came to visit me along with the UCL guys. But they are about to set off on a 9-month round-the-world trip where they don't know where they're going. They're just going to connect with people one person at a time and share their skills of trying to help people unleash their potential. They are just starting out their YouTube journey, so please do go across and give them some comments and advice about how best that you think they could make their YouTube channel to support this kind of adventure they're on, really. Better get some coffee and get started. In fact, thinking about it, Doris and Sane's work is the work of Corcovado. Going around the world to different places, helping people to become more diverse creative expressions of themselves and connecting people together so that there is more diversity and strength in the network, but then stronger bonds and connections between it. That is the definition of the work of Corcovado. This is the mayor. The mayor has turned up to talk with Jess. Trying doing some negotiations about how big they can do their events because there's some restrictions. But obviously he's getting on alright with her because he's here to see her. Luckily he doesn't speak English. Otherwise I'd be baited.
Oh, I know, yeah, I know how it feels. Trying to be whole when you're still trying to heal. I know, yeah, I know how it feels.
Woo! Okay, we have done a good old brainstorming session and come up with a few plans for the year, you know? So firstly, yeah, exactly. Thankfully, it's a little bit more ordered now than my dodgy piece of paper. But I'm pleased to say that we're going to do one of the stops on the tour here.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna organise that, and maybe Vicky will help doing some of that.
Definitely want to be involved.
Try and pull it all together one way or another. And so that means that we're going to have the 4 different bases that we'll go between and try and get as much swirling between them as possible. Don't move just because I've come and trying to show you to the world. That is the ultimate chill position. So where do people need to go if they want to catch up with everything you're doing?
Chateau de la Salle on Instagram.
Chateau de la Salle. Okay, so I will put all the links in below. Where am I next week? Oh, on Monday, I'm doing something a bit different. I'm going to Oxford to do this social entrepreneurship thing with Chivas, which I'll tell you all about in the next video. And then I'm not sure what happens after that. It feels good to have completed this tour of the 3 other bases that had been presented to me in various different ways. And I feel the good news is there is lots of common ground. There is lots of similarity and lots of difference in personality, thankfully, as well. But now I can go away and reflect on it all and think about the next steps. And I will give you guys details, confirmed details about the tour now that I've got all the information. Who's going to be there, when, where you go, how you sort these tickets out and all that kind of stuff. But until then, I'll see you next Thursday, 9 PM. Take care of yourselves and look after each other.